It's Africa. How are you? I want to thank everybody that's subscribed to my channel, and I want to thank any new people that are subscribed to my channel. I'm just tugging along. I'm not really good with any of this stuff because I'm used to just being kind of kept to myself, and it feels weird exposing yourself all the time. And also, I'm more of a like it just, I don't know if you would call it shut in, or I don't know what it is, but I'm just more like, I think I'm just repeating myself. I don't know. It's difficult, and I've, going through some things, so it is, you know, and I have a job, so hard to be putting stuff out all the time and hard to be as responsive as I'd like to be. But I'm appreciative that you have subscribed. Um, Thank you. So I want to talk about my second favorite video. It actually was my first favorite video before the Lex scene with me in black came along. And it still is pretty high up there. And the only way I can find it, I tried to find it because I actually don't remember the model that was with me. I don't remember his name. Um, and, he, and I feel bad about that because I felt so good in the scene that I just feel like he deserves for me to remember his name, and I can't. And so I try to, like, just putting Africa and waterfall, and because it's the waterfall scene, it's like me by a waterfall. So I have to look for, if I put those two things in there, I, you know, it'll be like a bunch of stuff about watch Africa do, but it doesn't say to whom. Like I can't find to who, like what's his name, and he was pretty darn special. So that what we usually do when we get on at some point um, on set, um, we like go over to one another. We'll talk about our likes and our dislikes and any boundaries that we might have. And I was going to go over there. He was pointed out to me, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go talk to him. And finishing up whatever. And when I turned around, he was already standing over there, standing right behind me. And he said, hey, I want to talk to you, which is great because I was like, oh, I was just about to come over there and talk to you. It's great. And he had apparently been in the business for a bit, and for personal reasons got out of the business and was newly coming back into the business. And so he wanted to talk to me about some things that he needed from the scene. And it was just so refreshing that what he needed was the same thing that I needed. He needed gentleness because he felt fragile. And I am a strong woman, but I'm usually feeling fragile because of old things. And and if there are some present things that happen, it could be just the smallest things, and I'll feel like, so I'm a strong woman, but I do wish I didn't have to be all the time for, I mean, if I wish that people were more honest about who they are, so you can decide whether or not you want it. Okay, I'm digressing. I'm just going. I'm going some other place, but I always feel fragile too. So I'm always like, well, I don't want to be disrespected. I don't want to be called a beezy. And, not to say that if that's what's going on, you are being disrespected. If that stuff turns you on and everything, I mean, I completely get it. Like, you're not being disrespected. It but for me, it makes me feel bad. So for me to allow it to be done to me is, and just going along with something that makes me feel uncomfortable, if I don't have to, then I'm just, I'm allowing myself to be disrespected. But, and I just don't want that. So I always, that's what I always tell people too, is that I would like I like gentle and firm. So I want to know that you're there. So I do want you to be, but I don't want you to be calling me out of my name or slapping me in my butt or, doing some crazy things. And he needed that tenderness too because he had just been through something. So it was just kind of like our conversation. It was so respectful and so sweet and tender that was it felt kind of like foreplay, that in and of itself. So I love that. If you kind of if I'm kind of treated like something precious or a doll or something just you don't want to break, I appreciate it a lot. And to the point of just relaxation and comfort and just appreciativeness all around. So regardless of, like, even if he had a small penis, which he didn't have a small one. And if just say he didn't have skills, which he did, he had skills. But even if those were, I've been in that situation, small penis and not very many skills, but because of the way that I'm treated, I'm still able to enjoy myself beyond. So that, I don't remember much about the scene because it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen it, and it really was. And I know I had a huge reaction in it, but more so than what was going on in the scene, it was everything surrounding. Like, even though we were doing what they wanted us to do, I know that he attempted, and we both attempted to do what each other wanted, what we wanted from one another. But we're on someone else's dime and someone else's time, so they have to direct it and tell us what they want. They have certain things they want to see. So it can't flow as naturally as would have been great if that could have happened. But when that happens, usually you don't have line of sight. The camera can't get in there. If you just kind of let the people just do their own thing, it's kind of hard for the camera to see. A lot of friction, body pressing up against, each other. So, but that he wanted to, and he tried, and I wanted to, and I tried. That whole thing just put it on a whole other level. Just right there. So this is probably not going to be very long because I feel like since I haven't seen it or anything in a long time, I don't really know what to add to that except that I appreciate that moment. Although later, outside of the scenes, kick the scene, back. That time, that whole, I think I was down there for 3 weeks or a month or something. And at that time, I was down there at the wrong time. I just was getting just a little bit of work because apparently at the time there's a time that they're not shooting Nubian people, and I didn't know that was a thing because I kept getting encouraged to. Everybody's like, if you just come down and just stay a month, just come down and stay a month. So I did. I came down and stayed, but I was getting very little work, and I had to supplement with dancing at that time because they just weren't. A lot of companies weren't shooting Nubian people at that time, which was just really I was so. He called just to say hello. And actually, the time that I came down for a month and the time that he and I actually met, it could have been 2 separate times. But the time that I'm talking about right now, whatever this was, it was outside of the video. The videos were done. So I'm going through this horrible, horrible time. I've gone from using my money to I'm staying in motels and having to actually tap into my credit cards and not really wanting to do that to be able to stay. And he called and he was like, hi, this is and I was like, oh, that's good. And he was like, how are you? And I just let loose. I just let loose about and I hate to say it, but it was the racism that was just happening at that time. And so, um, but I think it put him off because he was in the state that he was in, and he didn't want any, drama or anything. Not that I'm giving him any, but it's kind of like, that, because uh, I'm just venting about my experience. And so, um, and I could tell when I was listening to him on the phone that it was just like, whoa, this is too much. I just wanted to say hi, like. So I never spoke to him again, but that was a very awesome scene, and for those reasons, there you go. I yeah, if you have any ideas, let me know, because obviously I'm just fishing. Like, I'm just fishing. So if they are bikini type ideas, just I'm not, yeah, not comfortable with that. So any ideas other than, stuff that I might be a little bit shy to do, you just go ahead and you put them down there. Please. Alrighty. Thank you. Bye.